The Dreadnok sub-team is back with Zandar. That's right, not Zartan, not Zarana, Zandar. He fits in with the whole crew. We'll talk about that because, well, he is number, 146 from the GI Joe Classified series. And he looks pretty cool. He looks like a Dreadnok, which, before we unbox this guy, let's talk a little bit about that. Some of the sub-teams have names on them. However, all of the Dreadnoks don't have any sort of like Dreadnok logo on the box, apart from some of their tattoos. I don't know, it's just something interesting. Maybe we'll get a better sense of what's going on when we unbox them. How does that sound? Sounds good to me. Let's go. Yeah, that's a cool figure. This is a cool figure. I like this. Hopefully he holds up once we get him in our hands a little more. Does anybody know what these little things poking out of the backpack are? I know about GI Joe, but I don't know a lot of the deep lore. Maybe there's something here that I'm missing. I don't know. Help me out, leave a comment. So here we have our Zandar out of the box. This is a punk rock figure if I've ever seen one. He was kind of like weirdly put into the blister, but I'm just trying to check some of the articulation, namely the toe, which, look at that. Like, it's got like a little, I guess brass knuckles for your toe, whatever that's called. I don't know. So here we go, just testing out. So far, the range of motion is great. Zandar, I believe this is Zarana's brother, right? And he's moving pretty good so far. I'm wondering, what are these butterfly joints? Are these just stuck or are we limited? We are limited. Huh. He does have butterfly joints, but they don't really move. You can see right there, there is some butterfly joints there, but we're just getting like a tiny little wiggle. It's just like a little movement there. Now here's the thing, we can remove his head, we can take off some accessories here if we wanted to. I think I'm just gonna evaluate him as advertised inside the box. This seems to be a trend in the GI Joe Classified series. I just recently finished up a review on the Cobra Saw Viper, and that was a trend there too. You could remove the helmet, you could remove the blast collar, then you could remove the heavy vest, all that kind of stuff. I like taking a look at them as they were intended though, because there is a reason they were designed and packaged the way they are. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put his little sharp knife on the back of his belt. We have his handgun. So there's a tiny little strap that you can remove and socket in his pistol, which I love when they do that detail. It's not a detail you see often, because it is just a very fragile little part. You can see how much better that looks, having that strap on there. I wouldn't expect it from Cobra to have that safety feature, but it looks great, especially when you're running around. You don't want your handgun flopping out of your tactical vest, which is also like a crop top. I mean, bold move, a bold decision by Zandar. And I am curious about this weapon here. I don't know what this is called. It almost looks like a straight razor blade that got really large. And does it fit in here? Like, what is its purpose? What are we doing here? Oh yeah, it does fit in there. So whatever blade that is, it fits in what seems to be like another weapon's holster, but that is the weapon, right? Let me check the box to make sure that's all right. Yeah, so you can see it right there on his hip. It is the same weapon. Now we have the backpack. The peg on this is long enough where I feel like it's gonna be a solid connection, but you can see the clearance of that is rather tight. So we have his tactical crop top over the pink scarf, over the bandana, over the hair, not the head. Hair is attached to the head, but let's see if we, like, this is a tight clearance. I don't know if this is gonna stick all that well. You know what? It actually does. There is a concaveness to the backpack, so I think that's what's helping it stick over the tactical crop top. And that looks all right. But again, if you know what these things sticking out of the back are, let me know. Like, are they more knives or something? I don't really know. We have one final weapon. It is this harpoon. It is just a harpoon. I don't think he has any sort of machine gun attachment on that. Suppose that's what the handgun is for on his tactical crop top. A good looking figure. So he moves all right. A little stiff in the joints over here, so we gotta just kind of loosen that up, and that helps. Again, it's cold where I am right now, so that does not give us any sort of favors in terms of reviewing action figures of the 6-inch scale, where joints, especially in the GI Joe Classified series, can be a little tight sometimes. The pinless joints do look good. It gives you a nice cohesive look down the profile of the figure. This is a fun one. So I think I'm gonna pose this guy up, see what he's all about. I think we're gonna get some really cool movement out of this guy, and I'll tell you what I like, what I don't like, and I guess my overall thoughts. So Zandar here is a really cool figure. I like what they did with him. He fits in extremely well with the Dreadnoks. I think there are enough classified updates to make him look like he is a punk rock biker gang member. And part of the reason that it works so well is because of the shoulder guards, as well as that golden chain. It's not really golden, it looks more brass. I think that's the key differentiation, right? So like early GI Joe Classified series, we had a lot of golden accents and materials on all of the figures. It was just kind of a hallmark, but it looks here they've muted it quite a bit so that it more takes on a brass look than it does a deep, rich 24 karat gold look. And I can't think of a better way to highlight that than putting it next to our Iron Grenadier bat. So you can see that there are similarities, right? Like it is in the same family, using a lot of heavy precious metals, but ultimately the Dreadnoks kind of have their own vibe going. The other thing about this figure is the posability. So the tactical crop top allows that T-cut to ab crunch quite a bit. So we can look back, he can look forward, and the lower waist is on a dumbbell joint. So we get just a little extra like oomph forward. It's not gonna be a whole terrible lot because we still are contending with the tactical vest, but it is something when we have these figures. Again, I'll draw a comparison to the Saw Viper that I just recently wrapped up. There's really no movement in the waist because it's just all covered with bomb gear. Now, another cool thing about the Dreadnoks is the tattoo applications. We have some here on the forearm, we also have some here on the face, and it gives it visual distinction. And not only is it distinct, it's high fidelity. So we are able to see the word Dreadnoks on his forearm printed on there. It's really cool. There's some slight asymmetry on Zandar as well. So we have that toe, like that steel toe, the brass toed look there. It doesn't carry over on the other side, but we have that weird, I don't know, this like knife-like thing that sits on his holster, and he can hang on to it extremely well. It doesn't fit very loosely in his hand. It's got a snug, tight grip. Then again, if we move over to the other side of the figure, we have the chain. And if we move over to this side of the figure, the pauldrons on his shoulders are different. This is a character where you look at each individual point of design and you can see there was attention to detail and thought in terms of how your eye moves across all of the sculpt. This is one to get if you are into collecting the Cobra Dreadnok figures. You wouldn't want to miss out on Zandar. It is so well done and it fits in with all of the rest of them, which hasn't always been the case with some of the Dreadnoks. Buzzer and your glasses, I'm looking at you. But you gotta let me know what you think of Zandar. Leave a comment in the comment section telling me just if you plan on picking up this figure. And if you want to talk about more GI Joe Classified figures, that's 6-inch action figures just in general, or pop culture collectibles or blasters, well, you've come to the right place. You need to hit subscribe to the Ri-Fi channel so you can get videos in the future. For whatever reason you don't hit subscribe, thanks for watching the video anyway. But that's all I know about Zandar, the Dreadnok from Cobra in the GI Joe Classified series. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.